Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, EAA responds to Mosaic and PRM. Rocky Mountain Metropolitan sees fresh legal action. B-21 Raider stealth bomber gets production nod. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. EAA responds to Mosaic and PRM. EAA has responded to the Mosaic proposal. EAA notes that the new rule will significantly benefit GA, expanding the capability, size, and scope of aircraft that can be built utilizing industry consensus standards and aircraft that can be flown while exercising sport pilot privileges. Jack Pelton, EAA CEO and chairman of the board, said, quote, "For a decade, EAA has offered ideas to the FAA on safely expanding the potential of sport pilot and light sport aircraft, and these innovations are the genesis of the Mosaic concept," end quote. Among the areas where EAA recommends enhancements to the proposal include slightly increasing stall speed, allowing sport pilots to fly with up to 3 passengers, providing alternate means to verify night vision minimums for sport pilots to earn a night flying endorsement, and maintaining existing requirements and structure for LSA repair certificates. Quote, "All of EAA's recommendations consider safety as the priority, while envisioning pathways to take full advantage of opportunities that Mosaic can provide for increased growth and vitality of recreational aviation," end quote. The FAA will now review the thousands of comments it has received during the just concluded public comment period. The agency is expected to issue a final rule by early 2025. And after the break, Montaer expands factory with 17,500 square feet.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
Flying is my entire life. It's all that I've ever known. I've relied on Hartzell propellers since about 1995. Hartzell means much more than a propeller. It's a relationship. When you hear the phrase built on honor, they care about us as pilots, they care about our community, and they care about the product they build. It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Montaer expands factory with 17,500 square feet. Montaer is doubling down on growth with 17,500 square feet of additional factory space, building on the momentum of their MC series of aircraft. The company will sport the new assembly and integration sections of the Montaer production line, allowing them to build to their target of 24 MC-1 aircraft in 2024. The expansion will hopefully empower them on their march through the USA, Asian, and European markets, additionally helped along by the 4-seat MC-4. FAA posts Super Bowl cautions. The FAA notes that GA pilots flying near Las Vegas from February 7th through 12th, 2024 must be aware of TFRs, follow special air traffic procedures, and comply with additional operational requirements that will be in effect for Super Bowl 58. The FAA will issue a NOTAM later in January about the procedures for the game and specific arrival and departure route requirements. Information about Las Vegas area airports and airspace is available on the FAA's Super Bowl webpage, which will be regularly updated as additional information becomes available. T-7A Red Hawk parachute system for ejection seat undergoing testing. USAF's Life Cycle Management Center's Mobility and Training Aircraft Directorate reports that it has successfully tested the ACES-5 escape system drogue chute that will be installed on the T-7A Red Hawk trainer aircraft. Historically, the drogue chute was designed to slow the ejection seat and occupant down after an ejection at speeds above 250 knots and before the parachute is deployed. 4 tests were accomplished at Hurricane Mesa Test Facility in Utah between November 2nd and 14th, 2023. Heartening job numbers show a healthy industry. The U.S. Bureau of Transportation updated data for 2023, showing that U.S. cargo and passenger airlines gained nearly 2,000 jobs in November. Employment now remains 8.8% above pre-pandemic hiring levels from November 2019, with a total of 814,190 in the industry. That's up 0.2% since the preceding month and 12.5% higher since the before times. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Rocky Mountain Metropolitan sees fresh legal action. Sensing blood in the water, legal sharks near the Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport have filed suit looking to restrict airport activities near their communities. The public-use airport was established in 1960 near Broomfield, Colorado, and is now the closest port to downtown Denver. Like so many airports before it, the area has been subsumed by a never-ending quantity of urban sprawl building up around it, only to find itself the focus of its new neighbors' displeasure. It sports a set of parallel paved runways, 9,000 and 7,000 feet respectively, as well as a smaller 3,600 feet crosswind runway. Its location continues to be a popular stop for jets, business travelers, and firefighters working to the west of the field. The site has, as is often the case, taken continual flack from locals under every different avenue they could find. The biggest gripe remains the noise, where residents attend the Noise Complaint Board to voice their displeasure with local flight training activity and GA approaches. Seeing limited success in other HIPAA-fied areas in the country, they began aiming at the leaded avgas used at the field. Now ousted but technically resigned airport manager Paul Anslow accelerated the change to unleaded avgas last year, hoping to lop off that avenue of attack in limiting airport access. And after these messages, B-21 Raider stealth bomber gets production nod.
Coming to Sun and Fun's 50th fly-in celebration, Trace Atkins for an opening day concert.
I took a war since I was a kid between Jesus and John.
Don't miss Trace Atkins with special guest Sarah Evans.
Ponytail girl grown up to be a woman, now she's gone in a blink of an eye.
Get your tickets now and be a part of the kickoff celebration for Sun and Fun's 50th fly-in. Go to flysnf.org.
Welcome back. B-21 Raider stealth bomber gets production nod. The Pentagon has apparently approved the B-21 Raider to begin production. The vehicle is currently in the early stages of flight testing. A statement from Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment William LaPlante reads, quote, "Production of the B-21 Raider stealth bomber is moving forward," end quote. In a statement to Defense Journos, he confirmed that things are already galloping along on the next-gen stealth bomber. Quote, "This past fall, based on the results of ground and flight tests and the team's mature plans for manufacturing, I gave the go-ahead to begin producing B-21s at a low rate," end quote. The news is somewhat surprising to those familiar with the old school of aircraft procurement, going through the successive motions of design, prototyping, testing, and approving a clean sheet aircraft is now passé in Washington, D.C., apparently too time-consuming and inflexible for the Air Force's future weapon systems. Previous attempts to save time and money with concurrent production gave birth to long-running headaches like the abortive Littoral combat ship and the expensive F-35 Lightning II. The latter has managed to overcome much of the bad press in recent years, but still the fighter remains in low-rate initial production despite years of manufacture and use, with one costly overhaul after another. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.